All right, so, man. All right, if you guys saw my last video, I was partially excited on the fact that I went to Great Falls Park, took some pretty amazing photos and differentiating between landscape, which is what you're probably gonna see here, panning, another, some sort of right here. Long exposure, again, what you're gonna see here, wildlife, a bunch of different styles of photography. Before I get into this video, I think you guys saw that portion, or really in the beginning of the video, that, all that behind the scenes footage, roughly all. I kind of had the time now to actually go through. Sadly for this case, it's also gonna include this video. The behind the scenes footage, it came out all crooked. Now, kind of like what I stated beforehand, or yesterday when I went to Great Falls Park, I took my beanie. For those that remember, it was the beanie I used to wear from day 1 up until day 30. That was the same beanie. I had my head strap with my DJI action camera. Could have sworn I had it aligned perfectly beforehand. But I don't know, some movements and then me continuously moving around, whether it was going through rocks or whatever the case may be. It moved slightly, so all the footage came out crooked, and in this case, for this video, that would have to be the case. Again, I may look a little bit pissed off, because I am pissed off, because man, I tell you, if you guys could have saw the footage, it would have been really nice. Now, that doesn't mean all of it. There may be some clips for different photos that I took, that possibly for different videos, for the upcoming videos, that may still possibly work. But a grand majority of them, I guess, were lost, quote unquote, and mostly meaning that they serve no use at this point. So I'm a little bit bummed out. I really am, but it is what it is. I am gonna say that we should not have that problem in the near future. I'm not gonna say why, but I'm just gonna say that hopefully in the future that shouldn't be the case. Even if it were to come out crooked, which in this case I don't think it would, I think we should be fine. I'm not gonna say no more. I hope you guys in the near future see why, but nonetheless, we go here to this photo. Like what I've stated, this is a mix between long exposure, I guess panning, landscape. Because if we see here, this is a photo of one of the sections of the park where it includes, I guess, quote unquote, like a waterfall in a way. But I did this purposely with a long exposure so I can get this little effect with the water. I really liked how it came out. I really did. If you guys could have seen the behind the scenes footage, man, I was really happy how it came out. But yeah, nonetheless. So before, what we're gonna do is we're gonna crop it and we're gonna put it. I kind of want to focus it on this section. So I think we should be good there. Okay. I'm gonna do this, my editing style, a little bit differently now. So I took some time to really analyze my last photo from day 34. I'm not gonna say that I didn't like it, but I really just wanted to, see what else I can do better, right? And one of the things that I've been continuously stating, although I really kind of haven't been doing it, is masking. I've been stating it for many times now that masking here on Lightroom is really helpful, but maybe I haven't really been looking too much into tutorials as far as, how can I properly utilize masking. So now what we're gonna do, we've done basic adjustments, not too very minor, and you're gonna see why. With white balance, we're gonna push this kind of towards the cool side, because the whole plan was for me to take the sunrise with this in the background, but it came out cloudy because the morning was cloudy. It is what it is. But now we're gonna jump straight into masking. Now with this, I've had, I would say, relatively some practice as far as with what I can possibly do, but we're gonna actually properly utilize masking. now in this photo. So there's gonna be several layers of masking what we're gonna do. First of all, what I wanna do is I kinda wanna expose this portion of the rock just so slightly, maybe also in a way raise up the contrast, maybe even raise up a little bit the highlights, not too much. There you go. Since originally I'm guessing the sun was gonna be on the right hand side, we're gonna kind of do a little bit of effect. We're gonna kind of, not gonna say we're gonna fake it, but at the same time in a way we are. So what we're gonna do is just slightly expose it, the sky, so it can give that illusion that there was some sort of light coming from the right hand side. So then that way here, this, and then we're gonna work on another mask right here on this rock so it can have that illusion that the right side of the rock is being illuminated from this light source. And maybe what I could do is, okay, I was gonna say what I could do is kind of fake it as far as I make it like kind of like orange or to the warm side, but it's gonna probably be a little bit too much. So we're just gonna expose, we're gonna expose the corner here. Maybe raise up some contrast and maybe some highlights. Not too much because I don't wanna, at the same time, although I'm saying that we're gonna fake it, I don't wanna do it, I don't wanna go over or go ham with it, right? So just so slightly. Now, should be good. What we're gonna do now is go for another radial gradient. Grab this side, probably warp it. Probably right here in this section of the rock behind it. I guess what you could say in quote unquote the background. That too is gonna get a little bit exposed. The right hand side mostly. The left side is mostly where the shadows, kind of the underexposed portion is gonna be. So that's kind of that's gonna be the illusion we're gonna create for this photo. All right, so we've done exposure, maybe as well raising up or decreasing shadows, maybe raising up the whites, maybe adding in contrast. All right, so far what we've done, kind of have that illusion with exposing the corner and exposing some portions of the rock. To be honest, I may even warp this just so it can be more illuminated over here, and maybe just slightly exposing a little bit more. You know what? All right, there you go. All right, what I'm also gonna do is we're gonna, oh shit, this is not the right one. What we're also gonna do is add in a linear gradient from the bottom portion. We're gonna add in some sort of a vignetting effect. Now I've been stating that, of course, with mask you could add in a vignetting effect, but now we're gonna actually utilize it. Although maybe looking at it, it would be a little bit better if we were to move it. Left hand side, maybe warp it. Side right here. But I also realized if you press O, you can see where is gonna, or where the mask is gonna be, I guess, affecting. So if we were to right there, maybe exposing it just very slightly. Again, I don't want to go too overhand, but I think just underexposing the water here. So there we should be good. What I may do as well, just so we can have a little bit of a vignetting effect going on, just ever so slightly. Or, you know, we'll come back to that because I don't want to do something that I'm gonna regret. So by far, so far with the masks we've done, I think we should be good. All right, so I guess I'm having some issues with my computer. It seems to, if I want to click on the object, it just seems to kind of swipe out of Lightroom. So I guess I'm not gonna be able to do what I wanted to do, but what we're just gonna do, we're just gonna use radial gradient and just see what we can, or you know what? Let's just use the brush. And we're gonna auto mask here. Increase a little bit the brush. What I'm trying to do is trying to get the water here, just so we can ever so slightly raise up the contrast. So what we're gonna do is just slightly, just kind of do the best that we can with here. Again, I would properly do it if, I guess if, just something like that. Again, I would do a better job, but if I click objects, it just kind of, I don't know. It just makes my computer kind of swipe out of Lightroom, so I'm just not going to do that. So with the brush, and we've kind of already have it selected, what we're going to do is just really, in all fairness, raise up maybe just the contrast. Or to be honest, I'm kind of in between either raising it or decreasing it. Maybe decreasing, no, increasing it. Maybe that will make it better. Then if we were to scroll down here to effects, here we go, effects. Maybe if we were, I don't want to add too much or add in too much dehaze effect because it's gonna kind of be a little bit overkill. But I kind of like that actually. So we'll leave it like here. We'll leave it like that for now. And if I want to change it, then we'll leave. Then we'll come back to it. What I am seeing here is with the radial gradient here, we're probably just gonna ever so slightly move it, just so it can also affect the rocks, because it's kind of affecting the water, kind of the water splash behind. So we'll do that. All right. And to be honest, with masking for right now, I think we should be good. Now that we're here, now that we kind of had masking, we've kind of adjusted each, I guess, component slash, I guess, component of the photo. We should be better off now. So just a quick before and after, we can kind of already see just how we're kind of, we're kind of already seeing how different it's looking before, then after we're making it a little bit cooler, but we're still gonna get into that. So maybe with texture here, with basic, what we want to do is maybe just raise it up just something slightly. Clarity, maybe 2 as well, just something very minor. We don't want to do too much. Again, dehaze, since this is gonna affect all of it, and to be honest, we might do a mask here in the background just so the trees are not as foggy. We honestly may do that, so we're just gonna leave it be for now. All right, with tone curve, again, I'm trying to, since I mostly saw a lot of photos yesterday, as far as, I don't want to say I relearned Lightroom, because I'm still trying to learn it, but I definitely took a lot of time yesterday as far as knowing, I guess in all fairness, how to edit a photo yet again. But this time I paid more attention, and now that I have a general understanding beforehand, I kind of now know what they're talking about. So we should be better off with it. Now, what I am going to do is just ever so slightly, probably lower the whites. I don't want the quote unquote the sun to be too harsh. I don't want it to be too harsh. Now, what we can do, since this is going to kind of go towards the cooler side, what we could do is we could just slightly, very much increase. And I think if I were to hold shift, it's not the right one. If I were to hold option, it goes, or it makes my tone curve moves in more slower, so I can be yet again more precise with what I want to do. So if I were to maybe, just very minorly adjust we're really in the shadows and the black portion, I think we should be good. Okay, we're making it relatively a little bit more bluer. I think we should be good for now, and if I want to come back, I'll come back to fix it. Maybe just slightly increasing it. All right, now with magenta, maybe with this, no, we'll leave that be. We don't need no more changes. Also, what I realized is, back then I used to put as much points. I tried to utilize as many of the tools that I could for several photos, but I then realized if I don't need to use all of them, I just really need to kind of think about it beforehand and really have an idea as far as what I'm trying to accomplish with this photo. So there's going to be some tools that I'm not gonna really utilize, but we're gonna probably skip color mixer for now, and we're gonna actually head over here to calibration. Now, quite frankly, I still am not entirely sure as far as what calibration does. But from anything that I've seen from the photos or from the videos I saw yesterday, just making minor adjustments, very subtle adjustments here, can make it a little bit better. Maybe as I'm looking at it, it may too not look, or may not come out as good that I thought. So, in all fairness, I don't see no change here. So maybe if we were to raise up saturation for blue, just very minor. I don't think you guys can tell, but anyways, what I'm probably gonna do is actually head over here to the mask. Probably move this just so it's not the sun ray, quote unquote, is not beaming too much on the photo, so we should be good. Is there anything else I want to add on? You know, we probably might go ahead and do is go ahead back in here with the brush. Also, you just get the trees here in the background. This is what we're mostly just gonna really kind of dehaze the photo, because it kind of has that foggy effect. And who knows, I'm gonna see if it's gonna serve me better or if it's not. So what we're gonna do is head a little bit closer over here and see, is it gonna serve us better or not. Okay, if we were to just slightly increase dehaze, but then maybe at the same time, maybe a little bit expose it just slightly, maybe we should be better. It may have done no purpose or no physical change, but I think it adds on to the photo. All right, well, let's see here. If there's anything else, maybe with color grading, we can come here. We can kind of push this more towards, I don't want to add it, I don't want to push it to the warmer side because that's just not going to look good. I'm kind of feeling, again, the blueness here. Or to be honest, I don't think we really need to do any changes with global, although maybe if we were to just slightly, very subtle, were to maybe just push it to the blue side, increase a little bit of luminance, I think that should look a little bit better. All right, we can do that. And then here with shadows, mostly going to be white part. I don't think we need to do any changes with shadows, so we'll leave that be. Midtones, it's going to be really affecting the whole photo. Let's see. To be honest, I don't see. No, I don't think midtone's going to serve us well. And maybe even highlights. And then highlights, I would actually want to keep it on white, so we're just going to leave that be. Okay, now with color mixer, if we were to go to blue, which would be relatively the whole photo, maybe if we were to just dial down the blue. I don't want to, because I'm definitely seeing how I'm probably making this photo a little bit too blue, so we're going to kind of decrease the saturation on that. Let's see, anything else that I would want to add in detail? Okay, maybe we could do just a tad increase in sharpening, and then maybe a little bit more in detail. Not too much of a change, because this photo relatively was already in detail, so should be good. Now, is there anything else that I want to add on to? We do it before. Okay, yeah, that before kind of looked too dark, not so much detail going on, and then with the changes, all right, I think I kind of like that, but what if we were to do more changes here? Maybe just a little bit, ever so slightly raise up a little bit more of the exposure, more looking at it if we were to warp it. There we go. I think that would look a little bit better. All right, there we go. I think that would look a little bit better. Now, if we were to go to this one right here, if I were to warp it as well, because again, we mostly want the right side of the photo or of the rocks to be a little bit exposed, not so much the left side. We're gonna give that illusion. If I were to just like, you know, to be honest, I kind of liked how it was, so we're gonna keep it like that. See if there's anything else I would add on to here. Maybe this one's it's touching a little bit too much of the water behind, so we're just gonna move that here slightly. All right. If there's anything else I would add, let's just see what would happen if I were to add in a slight vignette in. Okay, I just slightly, very slightly. I don't want to, again, go too bad, but just slightly, because again, I want to give that illusion that there's a sun or there's a light source here in the photo, so we're gonna do that. And quite frankly, more looking at it, maybe if we were to increase a little bit of the exposure, maybe that should be a little bit good. Maybe so that should be a little bit good. All right. Is there anything else I would want to add on? Let's do it before now, or at least try to. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but let me just do it like the way how I used to. All right, so that's the photo that we have so far. Man, yeah, wow, yeah, that looks vastly different. I kind of like how this is, in almost some way, this is almost looking like if this was taken in the winter, when in reality this is taken in the early spring and in a cloudy setting. I kind of dig how this looks like if it was a winter photo. I really actually like that. So I'm gonna, like the usual, I'm gonna take some minutes here to see if there's anything else I would want to add on to this photo. But believe it or not, I actually really like the changes we've done so far. So who knows, that might have to be it. But again, I'll see if there's any other changes that I want to add on to this photo. All right, so I'm kind of talking to myself here, so I'm rather just gonna say what I'm currently saying. I'm currently right now on the waterfall mask, although there's some portions that we could have done a better job, but nonetheless. I'm currently right now on the waterfall mask, and I'm currently deciding if I want to dehaze the photo or dehaze the water or not too much. Personally speaking, I like how dehazing it kind of adds in more of that dreamy look, quote unquote, and just really making the waterfalls stand out how I intended them to be, which is to kind of make them like kind of flowing in one motion, I guess, if that makes sense. The other changes I have done is instead of having a radial gradient, I decided to add in, or to replace it and add in a linear gradient. So then that way here, it's not just a circular source of light in the corner, just a little, I guess, line or just a little gradient in the corner. I think, personally speaking, I think that is a little bit better. I like how the portion right here, we kind of have that vignette effect added with a little bit touches. I kind of like how that is. Currently, what my last thing that I'm probably gonna do is we're just gonna see what we can do with the sky. As far as, okay, we got the sky perfectly masked. So maybe what I want to do is maybe just increase dehaze. Maybe in some way, shape, or form, increase a little bit clarity. Expose the sky, maybe a touch, not too much, just something slight. Because again, even though it was a cloudy morning, maybe tweaking it here, maybe I may need to increase the light source a little bit more. What other changes could we make here with the sky? Maybe just increase in contrast, highlights slightly, and increase in blacks. All right. And believe it or not, I actually liked how that came out. something slight. So what we're gonna do now is come back here, raise up the light source a little bit more. And believe it or not, I think that is gonna be it. I liked how in this photo I definitely used a lot more masking than beforehand, and I definitely kind of thought to myself, you know, illusions. Creating illusions as far as with light sources, shadows, highlights, whatever the case may be. I actually really dig that. That's before, it's kind of nothing. I actually really like that. And believe it or not, as it stands right now, this actually may become my most favorite edited photo of all time. Just with the fact that I've used more components, I kind of thought about it. I actually really dig that. So believe it or not, that is going to be it for this photo. I'm actually really surprised with myself that I guess looking on one video, and really the person I have to really give credit to is this one YouTuber. I think it's called That Iceland Guy. His photos and his videos, his tutorials, fantastic guy. That's really kind of the inspiration I got from him, because he definitely uses or utilizes a lot of masking in his photos. You know, kind of giving a little bit of an illusion of light sources, adding in exposure in some certain parts, and then kind of making the underexposed portions a little bit black. Although with this one, I kind of liked how it came out. So that I still can't believe I'm actually really surprised how that came out. So we look at the raw photo here, lifeless, just a normal pic, you know, if it was taken raw, obviously. We look at the edited photo here, definitely a lot cooler. It's definitely a lot cooler. And we kind of made the illusion of that light source, adding in some radial gradients with the rocks, the sky, maybe even on the trees and on the waterfall and on the water. I actually really dig that, and personally speaking, as it stands right now, this actually is by far one of my most favorite photos I've edited of all time. By far, one of my most favorite, because mostly consistent on the fact that I've utilized different components, mostly with masking. I said it many times beforehand that you do it correctly, masking does give you some pretty unique and awesome results if you use it correctly, and most importantly, if you know how to use it. You know, I was saying back then that, you know, I'm gonna look into it, but to be honest, I really wasn't. Yesterday I took the time, and now I definitely know how to definitely kind of use it. Maybe I went a little bit overboard with this, but personally speaking, I actually liked how this came out. So believe it or not, that is going to be it for this video. Unfortunately, yet again, no behind the scenes footage. I'm going to hope and try to find a photo that has some decent behind the scenes footage for tomorrow. But kind of like I stated, that should be no issue in the future. I'm not going to say why, but I'm sure I'm going to spoil it next time. Or maybe you guys might even catch it. Who knows? But other than that, I don't got much else to say. I thank you all so much for watching and, you know, partaking in me, you know, trying some, really testing and kind of quote unquote expanding my editing on here in this photo. But I think I did pretty good though. I think I can't complain with this photo. But other than that, I don't got much else to say. I thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully tomorrow, if everything goes to plan, I'll see you guys tomorrow on day 36 with hopefully some behind the scenes footage.